The Ottoman Empire is one of the biggest Turkish states in history. 623 years of this state, 4 centuries of unrevealed, it has been the superpower of the world. Since its establishment in 1299, it has ruled 36 Sultan states until 1923. The Ottoman Empire, the Turkish Empire, was also a Muslim state. In the period of Yavuz Sultan Selim, the 90th Ottoman Sultan, the Caliphate was captured by the Ottoman state in 1517. Since 1517, the center of Islam became the Ottoman Empire. Mecca and Medina were under the control of the Ottoman Empire. Developed military, strategy and technology has been an example to the world. In his period, huge battles took place and almost became an impossible power to defeat. While the Anatolian Seljuk state continued its exodus, the Mongol Empire founded by Genghis Khan spread to Anatolia and based on the door of Turks. The Turks defeated in the Mongol Seljuk War that took place in Kösada in 1243 and the Mongols invaded Anatolia. In such a period, Ertuğrul Ghazi took the first foundations of the Ottoman state in Söğüt town in Bilecik province. Osman Gazi was born in 1258 to give his name to the state. With the collapse of the Anatolian Seljuk state, the Ottoman Empire, a small principality on the shores of the Byzantine Empire, declared its independence in 1299. Until the year 1326, Osman Gazi expanded its borders and encompassed Bursa and Iznik, the largest cities in the vicinity. However, the seizure of the cities took place in the period of Orhan Gazi, the son of Osman Gazi. When the city of Bursa became the capital, the Ottoman state became stronger than the Byzantine Empire in a short period of time. In 1350, Süleyman Pasha, Orhan Gazi's eldest son, expanded his borders from Anatolia to Europe and entered the administration of Çanakkale and Tekirdağ Ottoman Empire. The third Sultan, first Murad, became the Ottoman Sultan. Edirne was captured by the Turks and the Byzantine Empire was squeezed into a small region. In the real sense, the Ottoman state began to rise in the period of Murad. He had now an army strong enough to attract the attention of the Crusaders. The Ottoman Sultan, first Murad, was under the patronage of Bulgaria, Greece, Serbia and taxing the Eastern Roman Empire. With the Crusaders' armies formed by the Pope's call, the Ottoman army began war on the Kosovo plain. Although the war was over with the Ottoman victory, Sultan Murad murdered at the end of the war. Sultan Yıldırım Bayezid was sworn in the plain of Kosovo. Bayezid continued to grow in Anatolia and Europe. Crusaders in Nibolu defeated for the second time. However, in 1402, with the army of Timur come from the east, they faced the plain of Çubuk in Ankara. The Ottoman armies were defeated by Timur. Sultan Bayezid captive and died after a while. After 12 years of confusion, first Mehmet Çelebi provided the integrity of the Ottoman state. The dominance of the Ottoman Empire was again in Anatolia and Europe. Second Murat Khan defeated the Crusaders' armies in Kosovo and Varna and made the Ottoman Empire the greatest power without exception. In 1453, when the second Mehmed Khan conquered Istanbul, the Ottoman Empire became the world's largest empire. Fatih Sultan Mehmed started a serious military operation on the coast of Italy, and even though he was able to take over the fortress of Otranto, he could not proceed to Rome because of fights for his throne. The 16th century proved that the Ottoman Empire was a superpower. Yavuz Sultan Selim Khan erased the Mamluks from the stage of history and neutralized the Safavid state. Peter Reyes presented the first world of map to Yavuz Sultan Selim Khan. The power of the empire reached its peak with Suleiman the Magnificent. Ottoman armies entered to the gates of Vienna. Ottoman rule was seen in the Mediterranean without exception. Barbaros Hayrettin Pasha burned the combined Crusaders' fleet in Preveze. Now, the Ottoman Empire showed its presence even in the Indian Ocean. The Red Sea fleet made a few expeditions to the Indian Ocean. By the time of Suleiman the Magnificent, the Sultan appeared on the expeditions with the army. However, when Suleiman the Magnificent died in 1566, the Ottoman state began to enter into a period of stagnation. With the death of Suleiman the Magnificent, the Ottoman Empire cut its growth rate. Despite this, the Crimean troops of the Ottoman Empire, they organized successful operations. Ottoman Empire fought with the Safavids. Sometimes the Ottoman state, sometimes won the Safavids. Great battles took place with Austria. They succeeded against each other on the both sides. The Russians, the French and the British have become a serious force. Many times the Ottoman soldiers were defeated by the Russians. Some areas began to emerge from the Ottoman state. The Janissaries, who forcibly sacked Sultan Young Osman from the throne, began to take over the government. But thanks to his disciplined nature, although Sultan Murat Khan gave authority to a kind of deed at a young age, the state brought a new period of rise. The influence of the Köprülü family in the administration of the Ottoman Empire led the empire to rise again. Second time was the period of Suleiman the Magnificent, especially on Europe. The Ottoman Empire came again in front of the gates of Vienna. In 1683, Kara Mustafa Pasha took Vienna under siege for the second time. Indeed, the fact that it could not capture Vienna caused the Ottoman state very expensive. The collapse period has begun. The Ottoman Empire began to lose its power. It was the collapse years of the 17th and 18th century Ottoman Empire. Russians, Austrians and Iranians waged war against the Ottoman from every corner. Turkish domination in the Black Sea was divided by Russia and the Crimea was occupied by Russian armies. Napoleon Bonaparte captured the French territory and attacked the Ottoman lands. He seized Egypt but was forced to flee from Syria by defeating the Ottoman forces. In order to prevent the collapse of the new world was insulated in the state. But at the same time, internal disturbances increased considerably. It was impossible to stop, especially the Janissaries. Second Sultan Mahmud, who passed the Ottoman throne in 1808, closed the gate of Janissaries and established new modern Ottoman armies. State administrations were changed, new laws came out. Human rights were taken into account. Abdülmecid Khan issued an edict of Tanzimat and gave citizens many new rights within the state. While the people of Europe took these rights with the revelation, the Ottoman Sultan established a new order with his own will. He restricted his rights. In 1856, the Ottoman Empire, England, France and Italy defeated the Russian armies. The newly modernized Ottoman armies showed great success in the war. However, the first foreign borrowing started. The minorities in Europe have consistently produced riots to achieve independence. The Kingdom of Greece succeeded in this. The Sultan Abdulaziz was died after he was taken from the throne by a military coup. During this period, the foreign powers had infiltrated in the Ottoman Empire. The state has gone bankrupt. In 1878, the Russian army won the war. Russian soldiers approached Istanbul. With the agreement, the Russians retreated. Sultan II Abdülhamid Khan on the board ruled the state in a successful politics for 33 years. He established close relations with Germany. He paid almost all the debts. The Ottoman state experienced economic development. Schools, hospitals and many big projects took place. However, he was deposed by a military coup in 1909. This year many European states have declared their independence. The Balkan Wars took place and the Ittihad and Turkey governments, which had conquered the Ottoman rule, suffered heavy defeats. Europe states Bulgaria, Montenegro, Serbia and Greece moved on Istanbul. Edirne passed out of hand, but was taken back in the Second Balkan War. With the beginning of World War I in 1914, the Ottoman Empire joined the war with Germany and Austria-Hungary. It was defeated in most of the France except Gallipoli War. England, France, Italy and Greece occupied the lands of Ottoman. Istanbul was captured. Greek troops conquered Izmir and moved towards Ankara. Ghazi Mustafa Kemal Atatürk went to Samsun on 19 May 1919 with the Bandırma steamboat, started a new army and launched the War of Independence and removed the Greek army from the Anatolian land. Istanbul was again in the hands of the Turks. Last Sultan Vahdettin of the Ottoman Empire ended with the go from Istanbul in 1929 and was replaced by the Republic of Turkey.